Hey, what's up, guys? It's Fulky here. I just want to give a shout. Hey, what's up, guys? It's Fulky here. I just want to give a shout out to Boogie Bentley, Dauber, and the Indie Kid over at the Talkin VAWLS network on YouTube. Keep doing your thing, guys. Go VAWLS.
That John Fulkerson, courtesy of Cameo, coming at you. You know what that means. It's basketball time in Tennessee. My name's the Indie Kid. This is the Talkin VAWLS podcast. Welcome to the first edition of the 2021-2022 basketball VAWLS podcast. Thanks for joining me. My name's the Indie Kid. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit subscribe. Just want to bring some news to you today. A little bit behind. Preseason practice started about 2 weeks ago. There's been scrimmages going on. Tennessee had a visit this past weekend from Chandler Jackson out of Memphis. According to 24/7 Sports, he's the number 56 ranked player in the country. Things have been a little slow on the recruiting front for Tennessee. They've been getting visitors. Still just have B.J. Edwards out of Knoxville in the fold. I suspect and expect that'll change over the next month. Before we get into any of that, though, you know the drill, guys. Hit that like button. Hit subscribe. If you haven't already subscribed, if you have already subscribed, thank you. Thank you for tuning along with us for football. If you're not a football guy, please join us for basketball. Dauber and myself getting ready to amp that up here in the not too distant future. And then we'll transition to baseball. So once again, this is your Talkin VAWLS, jack of all trades and master of all of them, the Indie Kid coming at you. Few things of note today come out of Tennessee basketball. Of course, Rick Barnes, they've been talking about the team. The hype is real with Kennedy Chandler. I fully suspect and expect he's going to be your starting point guard this year. Everything I've seen, 24/7 Sports ranked their top 10 players in the conference here a little over a week ago. Kennedy Chandler was number 10 on the list as a true freshman, never has stepped foot on an SEC court in SEC play, and now already have him ranked as the number 10 player in the conference. So hopefully he can live up to that and more. I know everything they've said about him in practice. I know Rick Barnes is pretty hard on these guys, but he's been very complimentary of Chandler. And this kind of goes, hand in hand. A few things. I want to share an article here today as Kennedy Chandler is actually, let me get it pulled up here just a second. There we go. Kennedy Chandler is on the list for the Bob Cousy Award, which is the nation's top point guard. It's a 20-man list as of this point, and it'll be trimmed down to a top 10. Of course, coming in out of high school, and I'm not sure Rivals ranking for them. I know ESPN and 24/7 ranked him as the number 1 point guard in the nation coming in. It says he's out of Sunrise Christian Academy in Kansas. He transferred out there, but he is originally from Memphis. And hopefully they can dip back into that Memphis market with Chandler Jackson as well. But it says in late January, the watch list of 20 players will be narrowed to 10 before decreasing to 5 in late February. And then in March, a winner will be selected. That's a pretty cool list, a pretty prestigious list to be on when you've never stepped foot on the court. So, the hype is real with Kennedy Chandler, and fully expect he is the starting point guard. And I've got some stuff here as well on utsports.com. That's where the article about Kennedy Chandler being named to the Bob Cousy Award list. They had an interview earlier this week on October the 14th where it was Josiah Jordan James and Santiago Vescovi. And one of the quotes out of that article I thought was interesting, tied in too with Kennedy Chandler, is that on how Vescovi's role will be. And he says pretty similar to last year, but I'm playing a little bit more of the 2 now, especially having Zakai Ziegler and Kennedy Chandler playing the 1, which they're smaller than I am, so they play the point. They're really good at it. I'm feeling really comfortable playing either way, either playing the point or the two. I think it feels natural. I've kind of felt since they got Chandler in, and I've not even made a video to address the Zakai Ziegler out of New York. I know Rick Barnes has talked about him. He's a little smaller guy. I think he's around 5'10", but very fast and a very good shooter. He's actually another reclassified guy. Reclassified from 22 to 21. They had three guys, Brandon Huntley Hatfield and Hanji Tamba out of Knoxville. So this is still a young core. There's some veteran guys in the fold, but they have those young guys as well. I'm not sure how much Ziegler plays this year. I'm still interested to see that. But I know they're very complimentary of his speed and his shooting ability. If he can shoot, if he can handle the pressure, I mean, I do feel he'll play. But one of the knocks with Vescovi has just kind of been his speed over the last couple of years. But the guy can shoot. You know, I thought he's been, a decent point guard since he's come in. Of course, when he came in 2 years ago, he enrolled early at basically at the mid-semester and was thrust into the starting role immediately. So that's, he's done good things down there. And I'm interested to see how he does this year, especially if they're getting effective point guard play that allows him to move over. I think that'll be big for this team. And so I thought that was interesting that he saw that. I know with Josiah Jordan-James, they asked him on how the newcomers picked up the system. Then they said on who on the team has stood out during the offseason. And he did. The first one he said was definitely Vescovi. He's gotten his body in shape. His game is the best I've ever seen it offensively and defensively. I think that he's definitely in for a big season this year. And it said, what's he done to improve on the defensive end? It says just the effort he plays with. He leads his team when we get on 4-on-4 or 5-on-5 in the leadership he shows on the defensive end, and the pride he takes in defense has really improved. So pretty cool that Josiah Jordan-James complimented Vescovi. So with Chandler, with Vescovi, I've read good things about Victor Bailey, how he's really stepped it up. I've read good things about Justin Powell, how he's adding that shooting ability that Tennessee so lacked last year, that consistent shooter. I'm excited about this team. I was excited in the offseason with the changes they made. I felt it was necessary changes. Don't want to wish anybody to leave, but I just felt there were players in the program that were better suited elsewhere. I kind of felt that it was a team full of athletes, which is not the worst thing in the world, but you got to have guys that can shoot, guys who can create their own shot. Not just guys who can play defense and rebound. At some point, you got to be able to score. And we've seen those teams in Knoxville with different coaches. As far back as Kevin O'Neal, Conzo Martin, those come to mind specifically. Guys who were defensive heavy. But, we can put all the emphasis we want on defense. If you can't score, it's pretty much a moot point. And it's the same thing goes in football. Same thing goes in baseball. You can play all the defense you want, but if you can't score, it doesn't really mean a whole lot, does it? And, I'm a guy who I'm more of an offensive guy. I know there's people who they're big defensive guys. Yeah, you got to be able to play some defense. I think that, me personally, I think the best defense is a good offense, though. If you're scoring, you're able to set up, you're able to apply that pressure that you want to apply. You can't score, you can't get set up the way you want to. You can make it a half-court game. You can slow it down. You can bore the piss out of everybody. But when it comes down to it, if you can't score, I don't know. A defense is what it is. It's only going to get you so far. But Kennedy Chandler named to the Bob Cousy award list. And then today, the AP Top 25 come out. Tennessee is ranked 18th in the preseason poll. Thought that was an interesting ranking. According to their schedule, they are scheduled to face 8 of the AP preseason top-ranked teams in the nation. They play Villanova, who's number 4, number 5, Texas. Play 2 games apiece against number 10, Kentucky, number 16, Arkansas. Kind of think it's interesting. Kentucky's ranked 10th. I saw 24/7 again this week on an article. They ranked the SEC from 1 through 14. They had Alabama 1, Arkansas 2, Tennessee 3, Kentucky 4. So obviously the AP doesn't rank it the same as 24/7 does, but 24/7 was pretty detailed about it. And, you know, the AP is kind of interesting. I wonder how detailed, how in-depth they are. I mean, I think they're pretty up-to-date on it, but you got to factor with each program. This transfer portal's changed the game. Arkansas, good year last year. They added some nice pieces. Alabama, really good year. They've got a heck of a coach. Them and Arkansas both do. And Alabama added some nice pieces. Tennessee added Justin Powell via the portal. They added a lot of guys. Number 2 ranked class in the nation last year. So SEC basketball is no joke now. And a lot of years you kind of had maybe Kentucky, maybe one more, and the rest of the conference was down. Kentucky's Kentucky. They got talent. They added some good pieces through the transfer portal as well. Auburn, I think Auburn's going to be good because they've got Jabari Smith, number 6 player in the nation, coming in. They got added Walker Kessler, center from North Carolina. It's going to be a run this year. It really is. It's going to be fun. You know, based on what I've seen out of Tennessee's program, I don't know. I'm still curious to see how their post game is. You got Fulkerson come back. He's kind of been beat up a little bit with different injuries. How healthy is he? When it comes down to it with Tennessee, how are they able to match up in the post? I think they're going to have that depth that we thought they were going to have last year. I believe that depth's going to be more based on what they've added. Just, you know, we'll get more into it. Dauber and I'll get together. We'll decide when we're going to do a preseason show. I think that'll be here pretty soon. With we're on, you know, a little over middle of the way through October, so we'll get down on a roll. But just wanted to bring this to you today about Kennedy Chandler. You know, everybody knows him coming in. I think the hype's real. I think this guy's going to be a stud. We better enjoy him. I don't see anyway. He's here more than a year. I obviously would love to have him, but can't blame the guy, especially if he lives up to anywhere close to the hype, which I think he will. Tennessee preseason 18. And I think they'll end up better than that this year, but we'll see. I like it. They're ranked. It still leaves them with a point to prove. They've got a lot of teams they can prove that point against. And I think Rick Barnes is going to have that chip on his shoulder as well. I know he can't be happy with last year. And, you know, one last thing, they asked Josiah Jordan on how this offseason is different than last. COVID. I mean, that's last year, the camaraderie was harder to come by. The restrictions are loosened up this year. The camaraderie is there this year. He says this is the closest team he's been on since he's been there. They've done a lot of activities outside of basketball. They really like each other, have genuine love and care. Being a close-knit group, playing for each other, being a group of friends, being a group of buddies, you don't want to let your buddies down. You know, you get those egos. You get a Kyrie Irving, for example, in the fold who ruins every team he gets. That's a problem. I don't think there's any Kyrie Irvings on this team, but I'm excited. I'm really excited to see what this team can do this year. I think there's a lot of nice players on this team. I've said it all offseason. I love what they've added. I love how they put this team together. Let's see how it unfolds. But thank you guys again for tuning in. I hope you guys have a good evening. Take care. We'll see you tomorrow night. I'm not sure if this video will actually post here on Monday night. It may post on Tuesday, but we will be live for Talkin' VAWLS Live Football Edition Tuesday night, set 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And, of course, we'll be live Saturday for the tailgate show and the postgame show for Alabama. But my name's Andy Kidd. This is the Talkin' VAWLS Network. In the words of Boogie Bentley, go Big Orange.
VAWLS. howl like we